Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, I'm going to cover something that's fairly important. It is something that business leaders do not understand, yet it can be disastrous to a business if they don't value it enough. So over the last 15 to 20 years, I've been working in various companies, various industries in technology roles. And I've seen this happen in places where leaders don't really understand the value that technology teams provide to the organization. There is a sense that technology is impeding progress rather than promoting and multiplying progress. These leaders and others in the organization have probably been working in the workforce for 20, 30, 40 years. And the way they started or the way they were educated to do the job has completely become obsolete. And because there's all these new systems involved and everything, they feel like they're inadequate to do the job. And that in and of itself is a problem that needs to be addressed from the business leaders level, providing training for themselves, their leadership teams, and all the staff in the organization on how to use the tools that they need to know how to use to do their job well. They need to know how to use computers well. They need to know how things work, at least on a surface level. They need to understand why having secure passwords are important, what the implication of their email being hacked has on everything else in the organization, and what that means to that organization and its potential competitive advantage in the marketplace. All of these things are very important to understand. We may understand that as technology staff, as engineering staff, because we work with it on a day-to-day basis. We're there providing all the support and services and everything that are required to ensure these things happen. But when others in the organization don't understand that, they're going to look at the work that we do as unnecessary. And when we do go to the leaders and to people in the organization wanting additional funding for security, for infrastructure, for all those aspects, they think that we are wasting money. I believe personally that we need to really work with our CEOs and CFOs, and if you have a COO, to help them understand the kind of value that the engineering and technology department brings to the whole organization. And that means you need to first understand completely how everything that you do is impacting the whole business. So once you understand the business and how it's producing value, how each of these components of the business is working, then you can go in and have a good discussion with your COO, operations manager, financial manager or CFO if you've got them, managing director or CEO based on the size of the business, and give them a real breakdown of the implications of not investing in technology, not investing in extra staff for technology. Because the thing is, a lot of organizations have gone, you know what, we've moved loads from on-premise to cloud, we've added a few extra things. Because it's in the cloud, we don't need to support it, we don't need as much support. That is the thing that they were sold on. But as you and I know, that's not the case. There's a lot that still needs to be done by us. A lot that we need to do to ensure that information is safe and the data is the data integrity is right. Everything else needs to be done still. Yes, maybe we don't need to have hundreds of servers on site to do the same work. But we still need the people in our team to be able to manage all these other new systems and cloud-based solutions and everything that have come in, plus provide the support for the staff and users in the organization to be able to use all of that properly. A lot of organizations don't provide the right amount of training, and even when we do provide training, end users are not always in a mental framework to take on that training, try things out. They're anxious because, one, they're probably not as familiar with technology, and two, they haven't had the time and the space to safely explore some of these things. So which means we need staff who can go, work with them, help them get the results that they want while not being frustrated by the system. And all of this takes money and resources. You can't operate on the same number of staff that you had 5 years ago or 10 years ago. That's impossible with the amount of technology creep that we've had, with the number of platforms that have come on board, with the number of integrations between platforms, and then the usability issues that come up with each of those platforms as well. Everything falls, the expectation falls under IT and technology, that we should be supporting staff for everything. And it's difficult when we have hundreds of platforms that we are working on to be able to provide support in an effective manner if we have a small team for all of that. Having a wider, larger team gives us all the ability to have some space mentally and otherwise have some slack where we can explore new things. We can spend time on learning the platforms to get familiarized with it so that we can help these staff members, these users, get the most out of it when the time comes. And we need to consistently help our business leaders understand, one, the value that a technology and engineering team brings to the organization and how it means that they can actually have a competitive advantage in the current business marketplace. Show them the difference between if the technology team or engineering team didn't exist, what it would look like in the current marketplace, and what advantages that you are giving them to multiply the efforts of value that they create in the marketplace through the team that we have in place. The other things that they don't understand is the need for all these backup systems, backup solutions, whether it's for disaster recovery or secondary sites, whatever it might be. And they're all, in a sense, doubling costs if you look at it that way, in terms of it has to be maintained. As you would know, if you're doing backups, then you also need to do restores on a regular basis to make sure that your backups are actually working and you can restore if there is a disaster. You need to test your disaster recovery plans and all that on a regular basis. So there's all these things that need to be done in addition to implementing new systems, integrating new systems, ensuring all the new systems are maintained well, ensuring that users are trained on using the system, ensuring your team is trained on supporting the system. It's a massive job. So we need to consistently help leaders understand that them cutting costs or trying to cut costs or even viewing technology as a cost center rather than an opportunity for innovation and driving innovation is disastrous. You as a technology leader and manager or even a senior technology professional needs to be consistently knocking this in. Because the thing is, it doesn't get through unless it's consistently made into a big point by everyone involved, so that when they hear from multiple sources, that's when they go, oh, okay, fine, we understand that this is crucial. We understand that we can't just keep cutting costs in this area. Because we've gone efficiency to the detriment of the company, detriment of the well-being of users and technology staff, and to the loss of effectiveness. We need to be aiming for effectiveness over efficiency, because effectiveness allows us to be innovative, keep continuing to be at the top of our game, and keep the business at the top of its industry as well. Hopefully it gives you some understanding and idea of how business leaders looking at efficiency and cutting costs and technology and engineering as cost centers is disastrous to the business in the long term, and how we as technology leaders need to consistently keep the message up there, showing them the benefit of how we can be drivers of innovation and how much value multiplying we bring to the organization. So hopefully that helps you in your journey as a technology professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes. I wish you all the best. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.